Okay, so this is my second attempt at recording this video. So hopefully I recorded the video earlier today and I went in to try to edit. There was a lot of things going on this morning. So I went in to try to edit the video and it kept backing out. And then it kept saying, you have a video unfinished. Do you want to continue to edit? I said yes. It would go on and then it would back out. So let's hope that it goes through this time. So this is a little story time. As I said, this is a true story, and this is along the lines of getting to know me, and it's Halloween. I thought I would just tell you a true story about my life, something that I haven't shared yet. So I may have touched on it briefly, but I don't think I did. So when I was 19, so I had my oldest daughter when I was 19. And I moved out of my mom and dad's house for the millionth time. And I got my own place. Got this little garden level apartment on the next block. And my landlord lived upstairs. So at that time, I was working at this hair salon. And, I've always been a single mom. So I lived by myself. My oldest three, their father, you're wondering why there's three, if I was a single mom at one. Young and dumb, live and learn, like really tough lessons, but nevertheless, I got three beautiful children out of the deal. So anyhow, so I worked at this hair salon and my landlord lived upstairs. So one day I came home from work and she said, there was some guy that came looking for you, and he wanted to know, like, does a girl by the name of Desiree, with my maiden name, live here? And she said, yeah, she lives downstairs. And she said, but she's at work. And he said, well, can I have her phone number? And she's like, well, no, who can I tell? Who are you? And she's like, well, I'm just a friend. And she's like, well, can I tell her who, is looking for her? And he's like, well, she's like, I can give you my phone number and you can call. And if she's home, if you call, I'll knock on her door and you can talk to her, whatever. So anyhow, he called once. I wasn't home. I was at work. I didn't get off work till 6. And, so anyhow, I wasn't there. She doesn't know who he was. She said he was kind of tall, Hispanic, good looking, had a baseball cap on. Okay. Every other Hispanic guy that I knew. So I didn't know who it was. Like, I had no idea. And it wasn't my kid's dad because she knew who he was and it wasn't him. So, long story short, I'm going to try to fast forward it because it's kind of a long story. This went on for a few months. Calling, I would get calls, I'd get hang-ups, I'd get breathing, I'd get somebody knocking on my windows at all hours. And one night I came home from work and it was winter time, I know, because it was already dark. It was like 7 o'clock. Stopped at the grocery store, picked up my daughter, of course, from the daycare. And my arms were full. So I lived in a garden level with a wrought iron door. And back then those wrought iron doors were popular and they have a lock. I don't know, people probably still have them, but. So I get out of the car with my arms full with my baby and my purse, and I have to walk through a gate. And then here's the house. And then there's like these big bushes on this, the side of the gate. And I could see somebody like backed up against the house. Like I could see their arm and like this much. And it was like either a beige shirt or a beige jacket. That's all I know. And I was just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like, is this guy gonna get me? Like, what's gonna happen here? So I went through the gate. He didn't move. I just glanced over. Like, I didn't even want to try to make eye contact. I just wanted to get in the gate. I had to go down 4 stairs. I got the door open. He stayed there. And I got in, shut the door, locked it, called the cops, and Cops came, there was nobody there. So a few minutes after the cops left, pounding on my windows, window to window to window to window. Cops come back, he's gone. Whoever. They're gone, he's gone, she's gone. I don't know who it was. This went on for a few months. And so fast forward, this followed me, right? So this person or whoever it is, everywhere I've moved to, up to that point, everywhere I had moved to, when I was 19, I had my oldest. When I was 21, I had my second. When I was 23, I had my third. Okay, bam, bam, bam. Single mom, dad just coming around long enough to make babies, and yes, you know, it was my responsibility too, but it is what it is. I raised my kids by myself, and you know, he's out there. He went on he was really never around. Like, he would come and go, and so like I didn't have him for protection, like, and to call my dad was like not even an option, because like he was not my protector. So he was one of the people I need protection from. But that's just a little side note, little quick side story. My kid's dad was not around, and we actually got married when I was 19, and I don't even remember it. Went to the courthouse, got married, came home. He said, I'll be back in an hour, and I didn't see him for 2 days. So yeah, that's kind of how that went. So I didn't really have, I mean, I had guy friends, thank God, and my brother. I had brothers, but one brother was, actually, I had just lost my brother a year and a half prior to that. So I had two younger brothers left. Or a younger brother and an older brother, I'm sorry. I'm just like scrambled. So anyhow, I moved to this other house, and by this time, in the meantime, I'm having, you know, bad relationships. I'm with the dad. I'm by myself. I'm a single mom this whole time. I'm working. I'm going to school. I'm, you know, realizing that it's going to be on me, so I need to do what I have to do. Got, you know, put myself in school, you know, went to a business college type, graduated from that, and got a really good job with the city and county. Praise God. So by this time, I have 3 kids, still maintaining, still going to work, still making sure that we have a roof over our head. You know, I'm doing the mom and dad 2-parent thing, you know. And move into this house, and it's an older house. All the brick houses back then were like the best houses anyway. They were like probably made the best. They have the best foundation. And so this house doesn't have air conditioning. It was just like a 1-level, 3-bedroom house. Nice little house. I always made sure we had a really nice house. I never lived in apartments because, like, I just thought it was too good. So I wanted to make sure my kids all had a room, and I wanted a yard. So I did the best that I could to make that happen. So this particular day, I took the day off of work and took my kids to daycare because I wanted to clean and I wanted to get laundry done, because that evening we were going to go have pictures taken, me and the kids. And so I made dinner and then shut everything off and went to pick the kids up from daycare, came home. When I came home, I heard something like tussling, like a quick tussle, but it was like in my son's closet. In his closet, like you went in it, but you could go like all the way, like it had like it was a long closet, and it was just kind of weird. But like you could go all the way back into it. And I heard something like from the living room. It sounded like it was on the other side of the wall, but real quick. So I was just like, okay, well, I just left, right? I had just left the house to pick the kids up. So I was only gone for like 25 minutes. Okay, so I tell the kids, go wash your hands. I'm gonna go serve your food, and I am in the kitchen. My bedroom's right off to the kitchen, and as I'm going to serve the food, I can see my underwear, my bras on my bedroom floor, like all over. At that point, I knew somebody's either in my house or was in my house. I didn't know. I just went real slow and I said, hey, you guys, come here really quick. And I got them all and I just drug them out the front door and I ran up the street to my friend's house. And luckily her boyfriend was there. And we stayed there and he had a gun. So, you know, we all carried guns back then. No, just kidding. He had a gun. And that's not even funny, kids. Okay, don't carry guns. Okay, get licenses first. Just saying. Some people don't like guns, so. Anyhow, he went down to my house and searched it, you know, top to bottom, closets, under beds, everything. There was nobody there, but my bedroom window was pried open. And I had storm windows on my house. Those old school windows that you wind up, you know? And but these were storm windows, so these suckers locked. Like, so whoever it was pried it open and was watching because I was gone 25 minutes, so they got in enough time to go through all my underwear and my bras. I don't know if they took any, and just threw them all over. And then my daughter's bedroom, my two girls shared a room. Their underwear drawer was open. Like, just that drawer was open, but there was nothing messed with. So I think what happened is when I came in, he was still in the house. When I went to get my friend, when her boyfriend came down, I think by the time I ran out the door, I think he ran out when I ran out, and didn't have a chance to get into my daughter's underwear. It's just creepy. So, okay, let's see. Let me try to, there's so much to this one house story. So that's that day. Called the cops. Cops came out. No fingerprints. You know, whoever it was probably was wearing gloves. No fingerprints. Okay, they just threw your underwear around. Just, you know, keep an eye out. You know, keep your doors locked. Call us back if anything happens. So of course, you know, there's footprints in the snow by my windows. There's phone calls. I was getting calls at work at all hours. So when I would get in the morning at my desk, I would have like 20 some voice messages with this really weird music like backwards. Like, remember they used to say, like, if you play Led Zeppelin backwards, it's like the devil or something like that. It was like backwards music. And then just weird voices. Like, he would say like blood and like, you know, I'm gonna kill you, and just weird stuff like that. But he would try to make his voice, like, he would like disguise his voice. And then this went on and on and on and on. So they were putting a tap on my phone at work because this was like a continuous thing, and this was like happening at home also. And so they were putting a tap on my phone. The phone calls kind of stopped. So then one night, you know, everybody went to bed, kids took their baths, got to get up, get ready for work and school, put the kids to bed. I was going to the bathroom. So of course my bedroom was back here. I had to go through the kitchen, the dining room, into the bathroom. And as I was walking through the dining room, from the corner of my eye, I saw something like move. And so like I stopped and I just like looked into the living room. Like, I stood there for about 5 seconds and listened and looked, and there was nobody there. So I was like, okay, it's just whatever, you know, nothing. So I went to the bathroom, went to bed, got up in the morning to get up and go wake the kids up, and my living room window was wide open. My TV was pulled away from the wall, away from the window. The screen was off. Like, why would you climb out the window? Or did you climb in my window? Were you in my... So this is the weird thing. So I called the cops. The cops said that he was probably in my house when I went to bed. That when I thought I saw something, it was probably somebody in there, and then they just like crouched down really fast. And he said, like the detective said, a lot of times, these perverts and stalkers will just, thank God, just watch you sleep. And God only knows, do whatever else. Like, God only knows. Like, I don't know how I didn't wake up and catch somebody, because I was so hyper vigilant, so hyper, like, what do you call it? Hypersensitive, and always on guard, and always in, survival mode, because I kind of had to grow up that way. So I was always like watching and listening and observing. So this is what he says. He's like, well, we'll keep an eye. We'll come around. They even had a car for, a while here and there. And, I'd get knocks on my windows. I'd get calls again. We don't know who it was. And then one call he said, I'm going to get you. But it was in that voice, like, I'm going to get you. And he's like, it's just a matter of time. It's going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt you. Just wait and see. So by this point, I'm like, this has been going on since I was 19, right? And I'm 24. I'm 24 when this is going on. So this has already been going on 4 or 5 years. And I'm like, you know what? You're a coward. Why don't you come to my house? Like, you're outside my house. Let me know. I'll come out. Or meet me at the park, or, show me and tell me who you are. Like, clearly you're, must be some really gross, disgusting guy or girl or it that you can't face me. You're a coward. You're pathetic. Like, you get off on just trying to scare me. I'm not scared. Like, I'm not a female that you can scare. And climbing in my house when I have kids here, like, I'll kill you. I will kill you. If I see you, like, I will kill you without hesitation. I'm not scared. So he would laugh, hang up. I'd still get more calls, 3, 4, 5 in the morning. Like, does this guy ever sleep, right? Okay, so let's fast forward a couple more years. Still going on. I moved to another house clear across town, and it was closer to my job. So come in the house one day, and things calmed down a little bit. Things had calmed down a little bit. So I come in my house one day, and the front bedroom, there was, like, at that time I had windows that went up. So there was a window that was up. It was up, and it was open, and it was just open. So I was like, okay, that's weird. So I'm like telling the kids, wait here. So I went in, and I felt like it felt humid. So I went into the hallway, and sorry, I had to adjust my lighting because I'm in natural sunlight, and I'm trying to, like, record this before it's really cloudy out. So I went into the house, and I went to the hallway, and it was humid, and I went in the bathroom. The shower curtain was open. The shower was wet. There was a wet towel over the shower. So at this point, I know somebody was in my house. Okay, somebody came in and took a shower and left. These are the kind of things that this person would do. I don't know, like, who it was. I don't know what the point was. I'm really glad that he wasn't like a rapist or a killer. He might have been. I don't know. I hope that he moved on. I hope that he is not moved on to somebody else. Like, I wouldn't want that. But, I mean, I hope that he either died or he's in prison for life. Um, because this went on for another few months. So at this point now, this is going on, oh my God, 9 years. At this point, it's been 9 years. Then it just stops. Hearing noises. Because I'm freaking myself out. Okay, I saged earlier because my video would not go through, and so I saged the entire house. I woke up this morning to my bedroom light flick on. So that's how I started my day. So I knew that I needed to sage, which I do periodically anyway. And plus, I've been sick. Surprise, surprise. I'm like a fly strip, you know, when there's germs in the air, it just like, and I catch it. But my immune system's kind of lower than average because of the radiation and the chemo and stuff that my cells are still trying to regenerate, I guess. I don't know if they ever will. It's been like 6 years already. So I do have a lower immune system. My resistance is kind of low, so I tend to get sick a little bit more often. Obviously, you guys are always hearing me talk about, oh, I just got over the flu, or oh, I'm having an attack, I'm having side effects, but it's okay. I made peace with it, you guys. Like, I'm good, you know, I'm alive. So this has gone on 9 years, and I have to backtrack. I have to go back to when my oldest daughter was a baby, because when I left that garden level apartment, I went to back to my mom and dad's house. Oh my God, my nose started running. Okay, I need to hurry up and get this video done. I need to go back to when I left the garden level apartment before I moved to the other house and went on with my life and had more kids and blah, blah, blah. I went back to my mom and dad's house for a brief period before I got the other place. I was going out partying, you know, left the baby with my mom and went and did my thing because I'm only 20, 21 years old. I was going to bars when I was like 16. So, yeah. Back then, you could go to bars and drink, and like they didn't even card you. My dad started taking me to bars when I was like 14. So, sad but true. So, I was partying, you know. I was young, I was confused, I was heartbroken, I was, you know, messed up by all the stuff my dad did. My kid's dad was abusive and cheating, and, you know, I have a baby, I'm a single mom, and I'm just like doing my thing. I'm like, I'm just gonna go out, you know, and party. So I did. I was responsible though. So this one night I went out, and it was about 2:30 in the morning. I was coming home, so to go to park in front of my mom and dad's house, we lived off of I-70 and Federal, so we would come, turn down the alley, go down the alley to pull up and park in front of the house, unless we were parking in the back, but in the garage, my dad parked there. So I was coming down the alley, and about halfway down the alley, this guy jumps out, like, just doesn't jump in front of my car, but he just jumps out like that. And I'm just like, oh my God. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, oh my God. Freak me out. Okay. So I took off, right? I didn't go park. I drove to Village Inn on I-70 and Federal, where my mom worked. I went in to use the payphone because I think back then all I had was my beeper, my pager. And I went to the phone booth. There was cops in there, and I don't know why I didn't tell the cops, but I was buzzed. Like, shouldn't have been driving. Let's just say that. And I was freaked out. So I called my mom and I said, Mom, like, I just came down the alley. Some guy just jumped out. I'm gonna pull up. Open the door. Like, wait for me at the door. I'm gonna get out of my car and I'm gonna run in. So I pull up, my doors are locked, and I see the light on, so I see that she's at the door. So I get out of my car, and as soon as I step out of my car, this guy comes from across the street. My neighbor lived across the street, and there was bushes everywhere. And he was crouched down behind a bush, started running towards me. I'm running in the house. I get in, my mom shuts the door, locks the door. We call the cops. Cops come, he's gone. I don't know who this man was. The glimpse that I got, he was wearing like a, you know, not a ski mask, but just a beanie type hat, with a coat. It was dark. All I know is it was a man. He's nobody I'd ever seen. Like, I just got just a glimpse of him. Like, if you said, what did he look like? I don't know. It was a blob wearing a hat, and he was running. Cops came and he wasn't there. Had I not seen him, I probably wouldn't be sitting here. Had I not seen him, my mom and dad, my dad had locks on everything. So the front gate had a lock. And the gate was like this tall, like you could literally jump the fence. But my dad wanted everything locked up, and he thought, oh, I'm gonna put a lock on this little wooden gate and you can't get in. But we still had to use our key to get in the gate, to get in the yard. But if you don't lock that lock, oh, my dad would like flip out. Like, you lock that lock when you come in the gate. I don't care what time it is. Then you got to go to the screen door, unlock the screen door that he had locked, and get in the house, unlock the door. Had I not seen that guy in the alley, that guy in the bush would have got me. And yeah, it was literally like that close. Like, it's always just been like that close. Like, he's just getting ready to like get me. And that's kind of how it's been throughout my life. And I get scared sometimes. Do I live in fear? No, I don't. I have some fear, but I'm not fear driven. Like, I'm not like, oh my God, I can't leave my house. Like, oh my God, who's that? Paranoid. Like, no, I could totally be watching scary movies like I am right now. Like, I'm home alone. I could watch scary movies late at night. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to be alone. I'm always watching my surroundings. I'm always looking over my shoulders. I always make sure I'm seeing who's around me when I'm walking to my car, which all you women should do. Make sure that you're looking over your shoulder. Don't go to your car without making sure. If somebody's behind you, all they got to do is just push you in the car and you're gone. So you got to make sure, even if you're looking back and forth, and make sure before you get in your car that nobody's in your back seat. Like, that's what I do. That's what I've always done. I've done that since I was a teenager. So that was that night. And then I moved to the other house, and then my stalker started, his whatever it was that he was doing. So that went on for 9 years. That was 28 years ago. It was 28 years, roughly 28 years ago. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if he went to jail. I don't know who it was. Like, I literally don't know who it was that spent so many years just trying to scare me. And it was not the kid's dad, because he was too busy running around getting other girls pregnant. He did not have time. His friends were coming in hitting me up. Like, they told me where he was. Like, I knew where he was because his friends would be coming saying, hey, he wants to treat you like that. Let me do this, let me do that. How guys are, like, scandalous. But, you guys, it's just been one thing after another for me. And so, yeah, I had this stalker. The last message I got was the message where he said, I'm going to get you. It's just a matter of time. And it's going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt you. Am I in fear that that day still may come? No, I'm not. It has crossed my mind multiple times. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I have thought about it when weird things start happening. There's a lot of paranormal activity in my family. We're like super sensitive. Me, my mom, my daughters. We have like this spidey senses. Like we all have an intuition, but we have like an extra dose of it. Mine is like super intense because I've had to be in survival mode to protect myself, and first protecting myself from my dad because he was very physically and mentally abusive towards me for many years. So I had to always be on guard to protect myself from him. I couldn't call him for protection because who knows, he was either drunk or high, or he just didn't give a shit, or he would just say, oh, whatever, like, oh, you're full of shit, you're making it up, or it wasn't worth it because I was going through my own stuff with him while I was having kids, while I was putting myself into school, while I was making sure I had a roof over my kids' heads at all times and we had clothes and food. I was doing all this stuff while having a stalker, while trying to rummage through all my emotional damage and trauma from my dad, trying to be a good mom, and being stalked. And for a while I was in fear. For a while I was like, oh my God, like, I'm that person who, not so much now, but a little bit, I've always drawn weirdos. I've always attracted like perverts. Like, I could just be walking down the street. When I was a kid, me and my friend would walk to McDonald's. And this one day, this guy pulled up in this Trans Am. I'm like 10 or 11, thinking I'm cute, because I'm too mature for my age. And we're walking. She's a couple years older than me, so she's really cute. Yeah. If you could have seen pictures of us back then, like, I look back, I'm like, oh my, how did I even walk on Federal looking like that? But we used to walk Feds and go to McDonald's, and this car pulls up in this Trans Am, and this guy's like, hey, I can barely hear him, so because the cars are going back and forth. So I'm like, oh, what? And my friend Janet, she's like, Desi, don't go over there, what are you doing? I'm like, wait, this guy's calling me. So I go over there, and he has his pants to his knees, and he's just going at it. And I look at him, and I look down, and I'm like, oh my God. And I turn around, take off running, and I tell my friend, and we run. He took off. Another time I was walking home from school, and this guy was walking towards me down Federal. I was going home because we lived right off of Federal. So I was going home, and he's walking towards me, and I'm with a couple friends, and it's cold out, mind you. It's snowing out. He has like this trench coat on, and I'm the only one who always sees this. So we're walking, and all of a sudden, his thing's sticking out of his pants, and he's like going like that, and it's like flipping out of his pants. Like, this is no joke, you guys. Like, this is some serious stuff. Like, I laugh about it because it doesn't even sound real, but this is the stuff that I've attracted. I've always attracted weirdos. People say I have an outgoing personality. I'm an introvert, but I'm also, like a people person. So like, I have to be in the mood to be a people person. Don't put me on the spot because I will karate chop you. But if I'm in the mood, like, I'm a people person. And so I'm always like, oh, what's that over there? And oh, what's he doing? And I'm that lady that's looking out of her blinds. He better not park in front of my house. Like, those kids better not walk on my grass. That's me. That's all besides the point. Like, I just got so totally off track and off subject. But that was my stalker story. And that was just one little part of my life. And I have so many other stories, but I thought keeping it in the spirit of Halloween and keeping it kind of scary and weird, and it's like Halloween, the movie, Michael Myers. Like, my Michael Myers was a real legit crazy person. I hope that he's dead. I really do. I hope nobody, you know, got hurt. I hope he didn't hurt anybody physically. I know he messed with me really bad mentally for many years. But he doesn't have control over me. So, I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm not scared. I don't live in fear. I wished he would confront me now after everything that I've been through. Man, I would rip him to shreds. Literally. No joke. So anyway, you guys, thank you so much for listening to my little story time. That is a true story. I can back it up with facts and police reports, by the way. It's not anything to be taken lightly. I know there's nothing funny, but the only thing I can do is laugh because my life has been crazy and I have to laugh to keep from crying. And you know, it's all part of my journey. It's all been part of my journey to bring me to where I'm at right now. And I'm a survivor, I'm a success story, and I'm a walking lifetime movie, clearly. Makeup is my passion. People are my passion. I love interacting with people. I love health and beauty. I'm passionate about, you know, the veterans. I'm passionate about cancer survivors and cancer research and all types of cancer. I'm passionate about, you know, kids and bullies and people with mental illness and post-traumatic stress disorder. Like, I have all that. I've struggled with all that. You know, losing my dad and my brother to both heroin overdoses. We've got addiction in the family. We've just got a whole bunch of stuff. So a lot of stuff has followed me, but I'm not thrown in the towel, and I don't plan on quitting and giving up anytime soon. So give it your best shot. So anyway, you guys, thank you so much for listening. Give this video a like, a thumbs up if you liked it, if you found it enjoyable and believable, entertaining. I'm always entertaining, I know that. Yeah, share my videos, subscribe please. I know you view my videos, but subscribe to my channel please. That would be awesome. I'll give you some if you just subscribe to my channel. So anyway, guys, leave your comments, questions, and suggestions down below. If I missed anything, I'll put it in the description box. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for now. Have a happy Halloween. Be safe. Check your candy. Don't eat fruit. Throw it out. I'm gonna put a basket of like lettuce wedges and some carrot sticks, I think. So yeah, just kidding. I'm not. I went and bought some candy, but I don't know if I'll get any trick-or-treaters. The only reason I bought it is because my grandson Nico's coming over, you guys. So I'm going to probably take a picture with him and insert it in this video. And I went and got a pink drink because pumpkin spice just didn't sound good, and I'm really, like, I still have a little bit of a fever. And I'm drinking soy milk, it's not dairy, so. Anyway, you guys, I'll see you soon. Hey guys, really quick, clearly my video ended and all my lip stuff is off. I'm ready to wash my face, take my makeup off. This was just for Halloween for my video because, you know, a girl doesn't feel very good today, but I'm feeling better, and I always feel better when I do my makeup and when I get to talk to you guys and do videos. It always lifts my spirits. Briefly, I just wanted to say in my video talking about my oldest 3 kids and their father and all that stuff that happened, my youngest daughter has a different dad, thank God, and I had her when I was 30. So all those years that all that stuff happened was when I was in my 20s and then late 20s, or 19 to the 20s and then late 20s. And when I was 30, I had my youngest daughter, who is now 23, and she's gonna be 24 in March. So she's my baby, Brianna, and thank God she didn't have to go through a lot of what the other kids had to go through, because she was the youngest, and there was 7 years between her and my son, who was the youngest at the time. So, I mean, thank God for that. I love all my children. They all are my world, and I really have gone to the ends of the earth for them, and I will always go to the ends of the earth for them. And I live and breathe for my kids, and one day they will all know exactly how much Mom really, really did love you guys and tried to fight hard to just to be there and love you guys and be a good mom throughout all the craziness and all the madness. But I wanted to touch base on that and say that I don't want my baby to think that I forgot about her and I left her out of the video, but I had her when I was 30, and it was at the end of all that drama. So thank you so much, you guys. I will see you in my next one. Bye.